working on dealing with a bulge. I don't know if you saw much of that in part 2. If you haven't, go back, check out part 2, where you're going to see us dealing with the bulge, and we're really rocking in this pond. Decided on some huge boulders. Now we're going to kind of transition into showing you where we put our jets and the thought process behind our jets and why we want to make sure we're including those. Remember, our oxygen can only penetrate to the 4-foot depth with our waterfalls, so anytime you go over that 4-foot depth, we have to have a plan of action on how to make sure we're bringing oxygen into the deeper parts of the pond. We use jets for that. We're going to start working on our sundeck, so that's really what people are going to be excited about here in part 3, how we do our jets, how we're doing the sundeck, and then how does that transition into our intake bay. There's a lot going on. We've got a great game plan to move forward, so keep watching because this is totally going to be worth it. When we get to part 5 and you see that final reveal, you're going to want to watch a few times because this is going to look so fantastic. We're glad you're here. If you have not yet, you're new to the channel, we are just trying to show you that water features are fun everywhere. Even though we are conquering challenges, the fun part of that is when we're done with it and we conquered them and we get to say, check this out, look at the quality we did, even though we had to surmount challenge after challenge. But that's how it is, and that ends up leading to some fun camaraderie with our team. These guys are awesome, paying attention to details, and we'll be back for more. Thanks for joining us. Hit that subscribe button, like, and keep following.
Believe it or not, that's gonna be a beach. As you know, we have been battling the rain on this project, and that's why we are going the extra mile on our tarping job today. And we're directing as much water as we can in on top of the pond because we want all that weight to be pushing everything to our relief. It looks like A, the drought is over in Minnesota, which is awesome. B, we should get a nice window of dry weather coming up here for the next week or two, except for in about an hour or two we're gonna have thunderstorms. So one last time to really tarp it good. Hopefully we'll work on getting the water out from under the pond, rocking in the bottom and everything, and then really starting to finish off the rock work. So got that nice cool stone right here that you're gonna be able to walk out on. Quite a few of them around this. This is going to be interactive. There'll be a patio here where our camera is set under the deck. That, I believe, is about 4 inches above the water line, which will be great. This will all be a sandy beach area. Intake bay where that machine is, and so forth. So, excited to make some more progress. Hopefully our efforts here to trap the rain. Alright, thanks y'all. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Work on the beach area up here and then slowly work our way to the sundeck and then our intake bay over here. So it's going really good.
Well, that's the end of day 16. Holy moly, I can't believe it's already been 16 days since we've been here. We have dealt with a lot of curveballs. We've been getting hit with rain after rain, some injuries, some people needing time off. These guys are paying attention to their lines. They're making sure these rocks are being put in with care, structurally sound, and we're really paying attention to the way the liner is going to work, the interaction with it, the way they're swimming it, they're going to play with it, they're going to walk through it. Everything these guys are taking into account, and it is looking fantastic. All right, things are going good here on our project. I am really happy with the way that things are progressing here. The guys are plugging in holes and really paying attention to the detail work. A lot of the hardest work we do really is the detail work. So these guys are grinding today by taking bigger rocks that they can to fill in gaps and working their way to smaller one and eventually gravel. So it's a very important part of our process, but man, it is a hard part of it for us to do. We'll probably have 2 days in here of just plugging gaps, filling in holes. But while we're doing that, we were running our jets, so we got our jets in a good spot, running our plumbing out, hiding it at the same time. And then we ran our lighting cords, so we want to make sure that when we are done rocking this all in, if we have any issues with the lights, we're going to be able to pull them out really easily. So that's something we learned by watching Jack and Team Atlantis, so thank you guys for showing us that. Right now, we're doing something kind of different. This is a recreation pond, and they suggested when we were talking about designs, do you think I could have a sun deck? Yeah, that's a really cool idea. You can absolutely have a sun deck. So we worked that into the plan, and you can see that on our 3D rendering, right where we have a couple of chairs and a child jumping off and an umbrella sitting on here. So that's the goal. I really want it so that when you're sitting in here, your butt can be nice in the water, you're cooling off, you're getting hit by the sun, your feet are in the water. So right now we're planning that. We've come up with, by measuring a couple of their lounge chairs over there, that the right dimensions for this are going to be about 6 feet wide by about 8 feet long. That way we'll be able to have 2 lounging chairs in here and some room to walk around. But what's so fun, you got to be thinking about where that water line is and thinking in the 3rd dimension, because I really want them to be able to come up to this rock and push off this rock and jump into the deep spot, because it's going to be 4 feet to 6 feet of water right there. So it's going to be really interactive to come off this sun deck. So when you're nice and hot, you feel like cooling off, boom, jump in. Interaction point. The other thing I want to make sure is we have a nice easy way to walk onto this sun deck from the beach area. So you can come up onto the beach, run up here, you're going to get your feet wet because you're going to be in a sun deck, no big deal there. And then we also want to make sure we're considering how you might get into it from the back. This whole thing is going to be interactive, where there's going to be pathways and things that really encourage you to walk around. This is a huge project. It's going to look like this pond was always here. The home was built around this pond that they stumbled upon, because you're going to have big trees, you're going to have bushes, you're going to have greenery everywhere, and you're going to have this magnificent body of water to swim in. It's your own personal lake. With that being said, if you do not have a smart level or a laser level or a zip level, highly recommend getting yourself something like that. We need to know where our water line is for all of this planning. We set our 0 long ago in episode 1, but here we are still using that same thing. We know that we're setting our water line at -5. So knowing our water line helps us know how big a boulder do we need to be able to achieve our goal of being in an 8-inch deep of water and just walking off and jumping off of there. So we've been measuring, calculating, figuring out what we need. I love when we can interact with our water features, and this lake is all about interactivity. Things are coming together really nicely. As far as our bubble goes, our plan of action is working well. We're just trying to add enough water for now to get water on top of the liner to weigh down everything, so the path of least resistance for water is our hydrostatic relief. When we got here this morning, that was nearly all the way full, so things are moving the way we want them to. We're going to be dividing the pumps based on making sure each jet is divided, making sure we get flow so they have the ability to turn off one pump if they want to conserve some energy, and yet still we're oxygenating the bottom, we're bringing water kind of all over. We've dealt with it in a great way, the team's kept their attitude positive, and because of that, we get to keep moving in a great way, and this looks beautiful. It's a huge, huge pond, and it's just going to look bigger as we fill it. What's up, everyone? Nick the Pond King. Day 19. Things are going good, though. We got a lot of awesome progress done yesterday. The guys got that patio set for our sun deck, and it looks really cool. I can't wait to fill it in with sand, and we're getting closer and closer to being able to fill up this pond. But before we can do that, we got to put in our intake bay. Our intake bay is based on your flow rate of your pumps. So our pumps, we're going to be using 2 18,000 gallon per hour external pumps. I'm excited. We're going to have a really good water flow. We have 22 aqua blocks, and we had to play with the shape. We love to only use one piece of liner as much as we can. 22 aqua blocks, 2 pump vaults. We're going to shave off the back vents on them. We'll show you how we like to do that. And then we're going to dig the hole and get it installed. All right, keep watching because things are starting to get intense. The guys are just working on trying to figure out how to get all these to fit in. Mr. Justin is taking on a pretty challenging area for us. Well, we've got only an extra 4 to 5 inches of liner above our water line because of all the water coming off of that downspout. Caused some settling, pulled the liner down with it, and so Justin right now is just going to get that liner straight up and down, so when we backfill with dirt, we have 4 inches above our water line.
We have had a great day here. We have gotten the intake bay all dug out. We've got room for all the aqua blocks, and the vaults are ready to go gone in. We've got fabric liner down yet. We don't actually have the real liner down yet because we want to make sure that everything is set up and perfect. So Aiden's putting in the blocks now just to make sure everything lines up properly and is the way we expect it to be. Nick is over there prepping for the wetland filter, moving dirt around, getting all that kind of situated, kind of as a preemptive task. Tomorrow we're going to pick up again. Hopefully we don't have rain. There is some in the forecast, but we'll see. But tomorrow we're going to pick up again. We're going to finish this off, get this all nailed down so the intake bay is ready, get the beach all ready to be sanded, and then we're probably going to refocus on the wetland filter, all right? So stay tuned, subscribe. We'll see you around.
It rained a lot again. We'll get these things pulled aside and we're gonna just do what we can to keep working. We'll have a team over there getting the intake bay prepped, getting it final, digging, making sure everything fits loosely, and then we'll have a team over here working on stairs coming up out of the pond and making their way up onto this platform where you'll be interacting with water. Howdy everyone, Nick the Pond King here. We're just doing an update for you. I think today is day 21 on this awesome project. It's been a challenge. We've been dealing with rain after rain after rain, and it's helpful that it's taking Minnesota out of a drought and we're plentiful with water again and everything's lush and green and looks beautiful. But man, it's making it hard to do our job. However, our guys are still doing it with care. They're still paying attention to details and they're still remaining safe.
We are getting started to making the deck for the hot tub. We've got a 12 by 12 area dug out here, actually a little bit larger, but we weren't sure exactly how big we wanted to go. We're gonna lay down some landscape fabric and then we're gonna fill it in with some Cat 5, Class 5, pack it down, get it all solid and secure so the hot tub's going nowhere. But we do have to worry about the water off the house. We've got this downspout on the house coming down here. And right now the water is going straight into the pond. We want to make sure that we direct that water out through here, across this area, underneath where our waterfall is going to be, and get it out of our way because we don't want any of that rainwater from the roof and all the gravel coming off the shingles going into the pond. We want it going out and away from us. So we've got this dug. We're going to get the Class 5 in here, and then we're going to dig a trench from here all the way over there, probably 150 feet. And put in solid pipe and just have it run out.
I've got my fish tape out the bottom end and I taped it to the light cord, so now we're going to try to pull it through. So you can see that size fits through there nicely. Still might get hung up on you, but let's see if this works on the first try. And there she is. So now my cords run through the conduit behind this big rock, and it's just the reverse. If you want to replace it, you pull the fish tape this way and pull the cord back through. So now we got our cord run. A cure for the air conditioning.
We are Pond King Water Gardens, where we create living works of art, 1 yard at a time.